your career. How you? This is something very important to think about, and something that I'm constantly thinking about too. And I'm thinking about other opportunities to do instead of just doing whatever everyone else does. So, like, what other things can I do to give me more stability and more security besides just focusing on one opportunity? So the problem with a standard career is this, is that you have a lack of stability. What if something happens? Think about Elon Musk or Trump, where they go into, let's say, the USAID office. They pretty much get rid of everyone. Probably rightfully so, but besides the point, you lose your job in a heartbeat. How about Musk when he took over Twitter? What about other positions, other jobs? What about when your company, if let's say they merge with another company? What if they start downsizing staff? What if you lose your job? You have the stability issue. You only have one source of income. How about this? You have limited growth. When you're in a position, you can only grow so far up. Now, maybe you can move into other positions. Maybe you can learn new skills, but it's only limited growth. You can only grow so big. Like, okay, let's say you're making 50,000 a year. Okay, you can go to like 60,000 a year. They give you a 3% raise or a 10% raise if you work at a good company, or maybe they give you a bonus, $20,000 bonus or $10,000 bonus. Amazing. But what if you could find something that wasn't capped at those amounts? What if you could grow as much as you wanted? That's huge. Also, I think there's another thing too, is that there's discrimination. And I'm not saying this is a bad discrimination. I'm saying this is that people like who they like. And so if you like a certain family member or friend or someone you know, and you hire that person for that position, let's say a management position that maybe you have got, and your manager hires someone else, well, you don't get that position. So you have a lack of control in that area too. And so there's so many different ways to think about this, concerns that you may have about having just one source of income. How do you change that? How do you have multiple sources of income? Well, I think the solution is financial freedom. Now, down below in the comments, I have a link to my financial freedom blueprint, which is a great guide to help you find financial freedom. Now, this is only the first steps. It'll take you 7 days to get through this financial freedom blueprint. It gives you quick wins. Each day is like, maybe take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes to actually complete those steps to build this foundation for financial freedom. Think of a house. When I'm working on houses, I'm looking at the foundation. If the foundation is not there, the rest of the house doesn't get built. So same with this financial freedom foundation or blueprint will help you build the rest of your financial freedom life around that. Okay, so 4 main items for financial freedom that you need, and this will help you get towards this stability and help you grow in any way you want. And the last point is going to be investing, and I'm talking about real estate investing, is what I actually talk about a lot of times here. As you can see, my truck here is my office, my shop for real estate investing. I'm constantly working out of the truck with tools and supplies. So it's kind of a mess, but that's just how life is. Okay, the number one thing, and this is the most important thing that you have to constantly be thinking about for the rest of your life, is increased savings. Free on the other side, you do shortcuts. There's many different ways to increase your savings. Getting savings, that's going to be a big win. Stretching your income, that's huge. If you you do have minutes here, I have a 9-to-5 job, like it's very ideal. I have a 9-to-5 job still. I'm doing it because, and I would talk with W2, I can actually take out loans much easier, which is a great way of doing that. So use your job to buy your assets. So that's what I'm doing. It's your credit cards. Well, we can control credit card debt. Well, we can control credit card debt, which are things you need. I'll talk about that at the very end as well. And lastly, with the increased investing. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, because those 3 steps we just talked about are going to help you increase this stability for the rest of your life. Instead of focusing for your investing and investing. And by paying for your investing, you're trying to slow down how much money you're losing out of your pocket every single month. All right, so hopefully that worked. Okay. Tell me if I think I cut out. I had to reconnect. My internet was kind of flaky. All right, so real estate. There's multiple different ways of doing real estate. My method is buy and hold. So I go buy a property, I hold it for years. Why? Because I can start earning income. It's cash producing. It's an asset that's going to constantly produce cash for the next 20 years, 25 years. I want to long-term buy and hold. Now, I might trade that for another property in the future, but for now, it's going to be just long-term buy and hold. All right, so why real estate investing? Well, I'll give you some hacks here. So a number of years ago, there was some crazy stuff, and even now there's crazy stuff happening at different points of my life with different opportunities I have. So let's just say for this example, just to keep things clean and nice, 3-4 years ago, there was some crazy stuff happening at my place of work, and only my manager and I really knew about it. As far as I know, he might have escalated to upper management. I'm not 100% sure, but I pretty much said, "Hey, this needs to change, or else I'm not going to leave. But you're going to have to fire me because I'm not going along with this crazy stuff happening at work." Fortunately, within a week later, everything changed, and I was totally fine. But pretty much, I said, "You're going to have to fire me, man, because I'm not dealing with it. This is crazy." So it gave me this excessive control over my own boss, because I was able to say, "No, I don't need this money. It's going to make it inconvenient for me to quit this job here, but I have other job opportunities. I have other people calling me to ask to work for them. I've been doing my job for numerous years now. I'm fairly valuable in the area that I'm in. I can find other opportunities." If I wanted to still stay in this, probably if he would have let me go, I probably would have just went full on real estate, worked really hard and done really well on that. But I probably would have got some sort of W-2 so I can continue getting more properties, get loans easier. All right. Why real estate? Well, you have that control. I just told you that before. You have control over your destiny more. You have stability. Because why? Because when you have that 9-to-5 job, you're having one source of income. You buy a house, that has another source of income. You buy a second house, another source of income. You buy a multifamily property, another source of multiple sources of incomes. So now you have this massive stability as a multi sources of income coming in to you to give you more financial stability in your life. You're not under anybody's discrimination. Let's say where you work, you're not getting promoted because of some friend or family. Well, it doesn't matter. In real estate, you're not being discriminated against. You can go buy whatever property you want and go rent it out. No one's going to stop you. And you can continue to grow. At a 9-to-5, you can only grow so much, maybe 3%, 5%, 10% a year. Maybe you can get a raise or a new job description and maybe bump up your pay, increase to, let's say, $20,000 a year or $30,000 a year. But then it stops. With real estate investing, you just go buy another house and buy another house and buy another house. And there's methods of doing this. I talk about this in other videos, how to buy houses and continue to grow. And I'll continue to talk about that. If you want, just drop a note down below. And then also, you constantly learning. In a 9-to-5, when you're in that one position for 10 years, you're just stagnating. You just know that piece of knowledge and is very strong. Like, you know what you're talking about with that. With real estate investing, though, it's different. You're not constrained to that one specific piece of knowledge. You learn all sorts of things. You learn about electrical, you learn about plumbing, you learn about structural, you learn about painting, and you name it. You learn all sorts of things. You learn management. You learn how to manage other people. You learn how to do finances. There's so many things you start learning when you grow some wings and get out there and go do some things in real estate investing. Now, so the next question will come up is like, okay, when to invest? Right now, I'm going to be pointing out right now is that it's a horrible time to invest, right? Because we have housing is really high, it's high cost, and then also interest rates are really high, correct? Well, yes and no. The issue is not that you should wait. The issue is not that that they're expensive and that interest rates are high. It's that you're looking maybe in the wrong area. If you're on the East Coast or West Coast or some other property market that's really expensive, you may want to look about moving to another location. You can do this, and I'll talk about this here about cutting your housing costs, but you can do this by location arbitrage. So let's say you get some sort of portable job called a remote job, and you can go live in a new location. I've really thought about doing this even from where I'm at, living in the Midwest. I probably could get a remote job and live in some sort of a lower cost of living area. Even some of the country would be able to, whatever money I make, I could maybe spend half that amount of money that I'm spending now on my life by living in a different country or even a different state than where I'm at. Even though I live in a fairly low cost of living area, I probably could even save even more. Now, when to invest? Now. Yes, it looks like it's bad out there. I know, but you can still find good deals. You have to continue looking. No matter where you're at, continue looking and keep making those offers. Make sure those numbers work and make those offers. And then make sure the numbers work with your loans. If the numbers do not work, do not buy the property. All right. And the last point I want to make about when to invest is this point, is that there's an old saying that says, it's not so much you timing the markets, it's time in the markets. It's more important to be time in the markets than timing the markets, because time heals, quote unquote, all the wounds. And that's somewhat true. It's not always true, but you got my point. All right. How to get money. This is the big point that I really want to say, is like, well, how do I get the money? So these are two objections: when to invest and how do I get money to invest, right? Well, this is what I told you before. I'll give you some tips and tidbits on how to get more money. I already gave you one. You could do some arbitrage. Go get a remote job. Go move to some place where the cost of living is way lower. That would help save you a ton of money. But you don't even have to do that to save a lot of money. Think about this. Let's say if you could only save, let's say you could save $30 a day for the whole year. $30 a day for a whole year. How much is that? How much is that over 1 year period? That's about over, it's a little bit over, let's just say $10,000 you have saved up if you just save $30 every single day. How do you do that? Well, you cut out Starbucks. You cut out going out to eat for, let's say, with your coworkers. Maybe you get a cheaper car, spend less money on gas every day. Maybe you get rid of your car and get a cheap little car that you don't have this high mortgage rate. So if you can get out your $1,000, $800 mortgage or loan for your car, now that money's in your pocket. Now you have $10K extra every single year. That's $100,000 over 10 years. That's crazy. So if you can cut out $30 a day, that'd be great. Now, like I said before, car, coffee. How about we talked about food? I want to talk about two other things. We talked about housing here. If you can arbitrage, get a different house instead of renting a luxury apartment, maybe go rent a little more distressed apartment. You don't need to live in a fancy location while you're getting into financial freedom. And lastly, the funny thing about this is just something so simple and dumb, but it's so important, is start thinking bigger than this too. Like, what other things can you change in your life? How about cutting your own hair? You can buy a trimmer for $30, $35. They're out there. You can go on Amazon, Walmart, wherever. You can buy a hair trimmer, cut your own hair. You can save $30. Let's say you go get your hair trimmed every month. You save $30 a month. So that's 1 day out of that month. So now you only have 28 days to find out where you can save the extra $30 in your life. But that $30 that you invest into that hair trimmer will save you a boatload of money throughout not only this year, this month, this year, but also for the rest of your life. And it's even increased savings if you have some kids, like boys especially, like you're constantly cutting the hair every month or so. If you have 2 or 3 boys, you can, and plus yourself, if you're a man, you are going to save a lot of money, $100 a month, whatever it is. It's going to be crazy amount of savings you can have with just doing something as simple as cutting your own hair, making your own coffee. These things start adding up. All right. So with that, I've given you a whole bunch of things to think about. You need to think beyond your 9 to 5, get into financial freedom, and that's done through what I'm just doing. This is not my financial advice for you. But what I'm doing that with real estate, and I think there's a good opportunity to do it with real estate, to find other sources of income, especially with real estate. If you like this video, please like it down below if you enjoyed it. If you have not followed this channel yet, please follow the channel and do watch the next video in line. I'd love to have you on board. You have a great day.